Hey, you guys, guess what I'm talking about today? I am telling you that I am you, and after today, you will see why.
I hope you love this as much as I love doing this for you. So hit like, make a comment, and subscribe. Share it with a friend.
I started out acting when I was 10 years old. And I actually started out in camp. My parents used to send me to camp for 2 months with a trunk. It's like I didn't want to go, and then I didn't want to come back home. Wherever you are in the world, you can be in a play anywhere in the world. Any community theater, anywhere you are, really. And for me, it was camp. And then I started winning awards for my work as an actress. I started being written up by the local papers, and that's when I knew, I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I just had to get my hands on anything that I could possibly get my hands on. And then we started going to hospitals and doing Your Good Man Charlie Brown, and I was Lucy, and probably because I had a big mouth, but I don't know, what do you think? When I was 16 years old, my mother said, you can get on a train and you can go to New York City and you could study. And so I went to the Neighborhood Playhouse Junior School, which is where Meisner started, guys, in New York City. And I thought I was like the best. Oh, get on the train. And then after I would stop by Nathan's on the way back, and I got myself a hot dog and french fries, and I walked around like I own that city. And then I would get back on the train and go home. That's how it was. And you know, when I was 17, my parents sent me to London to study Shakespeare at the university there. And then I had an opportunity to get into schools, and guys, my SAT scores really were not good, and that's why I talk a lot about reading comprehension today with you guys and how important it is to be really good at reading comprehension. Anyway, I got into Syracuse University from singing. I sang my way into school. I remember I sang Adelaide's Lament from Guys and Dolls. It says here, the average American female, something like that, basically insecure. And anyway, so I did this whole character thing, and then I did a dramatic monologue. One of the most intriguing people that I met along the way was Aaron Sorkin. And I knew the moment that I met him that this guy was gonna go somewhere. We did this play called Carnival, and he and I were acrobats. He was doing acrobatics, I was doing acrobatics, and you can see from the picture that he was holding me up in an acrobatic stance, and that's Aaron Sorkin in the middle. Crazy, huh? Got my butt to Los Angeles and started training with Al Ruscio. Al Ruscio was amazing, and that's where I met some of the bestest friends that I still have today was from that first acting class. And so the people that you meet in class, they become friends forever. And I did my first movie with Andy Garcia, and that was his first movie too. Oh, there's this great story. Wait, hold on, can I tell this story? I was losing my voice, and Andy was on one of those skateboards, and he fell off and broke his arm, his right arm, the arm he was supposed to be serving me the drinks with. So what happened? He lost all of his close-ups. I got them though. So in a way that's good, in a way that's bad, you know. My first play, No Place to Be Somebody, was at the Todd Bridges Theater, owned by Betty Bridges and Todd Bridges. And I had met Todd back then. He was actually dating my roommate at the time. And this play starred Shoshani Hall and Joe Estevez. We were written up everywhere, and I ended up in one of those books talking about theater in Los Angeles. I booked this job called Georgia County Lockup. I was supposed to be frolicking in the woods, you know, and my boyfriend's taking pictures of me, and then this big guy comes along and starts beating on him, and I run to the car. The guy ends up burning him right outside my door. I'm looking at him going, oh no! And I'm driving away, and I'm driving away, and you know, the music is swelling, and it goes do-do-do, and I'm looking back, is he looking at me, do-do-do, and his big rifle go out the window and goes bam, and I go boom, and then they put in a stunt guy and they rolled the car, and the car blew up, and it was awesome. I was not being paid. You have to just do what you have to do to be the actor you want to be, and you have to act in whatever you could act in because you love to act. So don't jump over nickels to save pennies. Just get out there and do it and they will find you. I get this phone call from this guy, Rick Garside, who does beautiful Christian movies, and he asks me if I know how to ski. So I basically lied to him and I say yes. And I go out, I audition for this. Then he called me up and said, you got the job. And I'm like, oh my God, I lied to a very heavy Christian person doing a Christian movie. So I said, listen, I'm so sorry, but I really wanted the job. So I lied to you and said I knew how to ski. I've never skied before in my life. And he was so nice. He took me up to Mountain High, and I wasn't supposed to be a great skier anyway. Everybody else was. I ended up skiing well because we ended up in Lake Tahoe and Mammoth. I must have gone through about 12 managers until I found Rachel Kay. Would you hand me the book? Because I want to talk about all the things that she did for me. She had such a passion for me that I thought, my gut feeling was, don't judge a book by its cover. All the big agencies and managers that you've signed with before this time, they didn't really get you. Maybe she will. Because she had all these great ideas for me, and it worked. She would write me just cards all the time telling me that I could do it, and she was always thanking me and telling me how wonderful I was, and what an incredible artist I was, and how proud she was of me, kind of like what I do with my students now, you know. Because I know how much you need to hear that. And I started booking all the time. I booked all the time. And she got on the phone, boy, she worked her tail off, and she sent postcards, she wrote letters, she made phone calls, and she got me into those rooms, and it's because of her that I built all these credits. And when she died, it took me forever to get back on my feet again. Because I loved her so much, and because I had to love myself as much as she loved me. I lost my friend, I lost my manager. I'd gotten with a couple of different agencies, it didn't work out. And then I thought to myself, I'm gonna become a manager. So I got together with this woman by the name of Aura Frosch, who was running this company called Gold Levin Talent. I said, you know what about if I took on the Gold name and paid an homage to my wonderful friend and manager Rachel, and called myself Rachel Gold. And so that's what I did. But I gave myself an accent too. So I was talking like this, you know, like a Jewish broad. So every time the phone rang, nobody would know it was me. And I had a partner also at the time who went under the name of Charles Morgan, and he was just talking like this. He was flaming. And so we were a really good pairing. It ended up blowing up. I was a manager for 9 years, and during that time I was also teaching. There was this one agent, I don't even remember her name. It doesn't matter because she was so nasty. She hated that I fixed everybody's resumes. She hated that I helped them with their photos. And she started to blackball me, and she called every one of the people that were my students at the time and said, if you train with Amy Lyndon, I'm going to drop you. And I said, you know what, bitch? I'm gonna become your competition. I had Yorgo Constantine, I had Brandon Baker, I negotiated 3 picture deals for Disney. Adam Brody approached me, I think he was 16 years old at the time, and he found me, and I was just starting to teach. And Sarah Paxton was there too. And Adam was with us all the way up until the OC. And she was out of business within about 1.5 years after that. I started thinking I want to be an actor again. I was starting having panic feelings because this wasn't what I wanted to do with my life. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate that sometimes you're doing something that just doesn't feel right. Sometimes you're doing a job that doesn't feel right, or you start thinking, well, I didn't sign up for this. This wasn't my career. This wasn't what I thought I wanted to do in my life. That's when a lot of people pick up and move away, or they go and get another career. I'm not gonna lie to you, there were depressing times about it, but I didn't quit. I left the management company and I started filmmaking, and then I started working again. Do you see how that works? And guess who I worked with? Chris Pratt on his first movie, directed by Ray Don Chong. She found him in Hawaii, and me, I was at a Hollywood Oscar party. Nothing ever goes the way that you think it's going to go. things happen. You know, you lose a job, you don't get a job, you end up doing a job you're not supposed to do, you end up moving somewhere that you didn't want to move to, you end up in a relationship that you didn't want to be in, and you know, and eventually you come to terms with it and you say, well, what did I really want to do? And that happened to me, I can't even tell you how many times throughout my career. That just when I thought it was over, it wasn't, because I didn't want it to be. So I think it's always going to be up to you. And don't let big events take you down, because they can. And it's up to you to not let that happen.
I hope you love this as much as I love doing this for you.
Stop worrying about the other guys. They should be worried about you. You want to be hot. Become a booking machine.
So hit like, make a comment, and subscribe. Share it with a friend.